I'm going to start this CyberGeezer session with a little bit of information about a program that I'm barely learning how to use called Lightroom, and it's from Adobe, and I pay a monthly subscription. You used to be able to buy the program pretty inexpensively, but it's not too bad for what it does. Anyway, as you can see on the screen, I've imported a lot of photographs into Lightroom, and you can see again from previous discussions that I have over here on the side. You'll notice I have all my pictures that were on my LaCie drive, and what I've done is I've imported them. So basically I went up to the menu for Lightroom, and I just went under Light Capacity. I said File, and I just said Import Photos and Videos. and so there are a lot of other things you can do, but what I did is I imported all of my pictures from my folder, and so now here they are. And what you can see is down under 2021. Notice under each year I've got drop down menus, and these are different events that happened each year, and that's how I organize my LaCie drive, and I've discussed that before. So the Yellowstone trip, I was kind of scanning through here, and I noticed a picture that doesn't look like much, and it's something that looks like it should be thrown away. Now, I don't know a lot about histograms, but this is the histogram, which means that there's a lot of black in this picture and there's not very much white. And so what you can do with digital photographs is you can change this, the white balance. I don't even have to go, I could go to get real fancy to this develop issue. Maybe I could do that. And what you can actually do is you can slide the histogram over, I think, to change, to get rid of shadows, but it's what I'm going to do is you can slide it over to get, you can see with it, there is something there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this, and so what I'm going to do is adjust exposure and slide it over to the right, as you can see, and all of a sudden I've got a picture. And notice that the histogram has changed, not so much black, it's got a variety of colors. I might be able to change the contrast a little bit, but basically I'm just going to slide the exposure to where I think that's a little bit too white, but probably right in there is pretty decent. And let's see, it might help to change, I could change the tint if it's appropriate. Too much green, that sort of pops out the flower, which is what I want. Not too much, but maybe about like so. The contrast, I don't know that I need to do too much with that, but I can adjust it by hand as to what looks good to me. And here you can adjust the shadows. Notice the histogram is changing also, and so forth. So at this stage, I can change the blacks and the whites. I could a lot of different things. As you can see, I've got a pretty decent picture, and I would save that. But right now, what I'm going to do is just show you what it was like. Notice over here, let's see, I actually have some presets that I could have tried to do for each of these pictures, but I notice that I have there's a lot of different things that I could do, different colors and so forth. And I could pretty much do whatever I wanted with those flowers, as far as colors and so forth. A lot of styles and a lot of creation. I have a lot of other things that I can do. I can go into a black and white mode, high contrast, black and white. So basically what it amounts to with digital photographs, you can really do a lot with them as far as changing what your original photograph was like. I'm just kind of fooling around right now when the little red shows up in the picture, right, like here there was a little bit of red a second ago, that's probably indicating a limit of something. I don't know enough about it. Here's turquoise and reds. Let me not do any more. I'm going to stop this, give us something to discuss, and I hope to have a photography groups. I know Bruce is very interested in doing this. And again, I'm using Lightroom to do this. I could go ahead and go into a lot of other things. For example, I could actually open this picture in Lightroom and do some changing and cropping and so on. But that's enough to get us started on this next session of Cybergeezers. Let me put this back to where it was. I'm going to reset the picture so you can see that's what we started with. And let's see, previous, and that was a start. And again, what I did earlier is I slide over so there aren't so many blacks. It's not looking very good now. Should have left it go. Anyway, I left it where it was in the beginning, and maybe I'll change it. I could have actually just changed it from the library, going through exposure and giving it more like so. That's pretty good. And I can save that picture if I wanted to. But I'll leave it right now, and later on when I have other pictures that I can certainly alter. Like here's one that's pretty bad, and you can see there's no changes, no contrast. Let's see if I can do anything with that. I'm just changing the clarity, and let's see about the vibrance. It's interesting that maybe if I went to develop it, you see what happens is if you go too much in the direction, I think it changes that's where this red comes out. Well, that's not bad, like there, the exposure. That's not too bad. Let's see if I can change the contrast a little bit. Yeah, go back to the library. It's definitely a different picture. Let me go back to what it was like. Let's see. I think I can reset it. See? And I should have kept it where it was. I'm not even sure how to save it right offhand. Anyway, this is using Lightroom Classic, and there are other programs like Photoshop Elements that'll do the same thing, but this is really nice because I can go through a lot of pictures and go to develop them and change things with them. Let's see, I think I changed the exposure. That was what I did. And I'll go back to the library, and you see the picture is something that's decent now. Quick touch up here's a few more. I'll have to go ahead and change just a little bit so I can probably change exposure again. Again, if I went to the develop mode and see if I can change the exposure. That's too much right now. Yeah, let's see, I'm going to change the contrast. That's not too bad. My histogram is still way off on the white side, but that's what's happening. Let's see if I can change the whites to there, not so much. That's not bad. So I'll just go back to the library. So the picture is stayed this way. Now, if I wanted to do something with this, I would, for example, I might want to export it or print it or whatever, but it's definitely different than it was. Here's another picture that's pretty dark. Let me just go ahead and just notice a lot of white and a lot of dark. Let's see if I can change the exposure again for this one. All of a sudden you can see something which you couldn't see before. And maybe change the clarity a little bit. That's probably not too bad. That might have been okay. Yeah, it's okay. So what I can do is I could go through a lot of the pictures that I've done and just do a little bit of tweaking. Let's see here. I might want to do a little bit more to develop. The tints you can change. It's not too bad. The temperature. It's probably better where it was. Shadows. Still want them. Lights. Basically, of course, it's all your own personal taste, what you want to do with the picture. And again, there were a lot of presets over here that I could have gone to. Let's see what happens there. It's still definitely a better picture than it was. Let's take one here. Change exposure a little bit. That's a little better. And we're done. Okay, so anyway, that's how we can go through. Lightroom is nice because you can very quickly tweak a lot of pictures. You can just go through them and fix them up so that they're a lot better than they were before. So I got a little better picture. Things that were especially like they're too dark. If I brighten it up a little bit, at least I can see what I've got. Now, what I don't do, like for example, right up here, this is not good, and what I might want to do later is crop this, and that's something that I think I can do it in here. If I go to cropping, let me see. Here's a symbol for cropping, and so what I can do is slide this over and slide this down, and then I think I just accept that. And let's see, if I say done, there's the picture, and I don't have that mess in there. Anyway, close for now, and thank you very much.